Welcome back, everyone, to the bunker in Downsview Park. Once again, I'm the Derby Nerd here with Monichrome to call all of this action in this WFTDA regular season showdown between Toronto's CN Power in the pink and black and the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls from Grand Rapids, Michigan in the black and blue.
Both teams poised and ready to go right off this first whistle. That's Motorhead Molly jamming for CN Power. And she's moving too fast. I can't see who's jamming for Grand Raggidy.
That is Ultra Fox, number 17 in the black. She takes the first lead jam, goes to Grand Rapids. Both of these teams actually coming off of the 2013 WFTDA playoffs. But this, interestingly enough, this game will count toward the 2014 regular season. Nice defense at the back of the pack from Santa Muerta, forcing Ultra Fox out, forcing the call off. No points on the board. Nice start. I believe that is going to be Shotgun Shell coming up now to the jammer line for Grand Rapids. And she is out there against Ballerina. Ballerina is coming off of an extraordinary playoff. She was second on the team in scoring and 200 points. Unbelievable number for 4 playoff games. She had a very strong playoff.
And there is a great example of how she did it. Just juking around through that outside line, making it real easy. Her team helping her through. Grand Rapids still stuck behind. Bruceberry Pie and Rennie Rumble, who is doing double duty tonight.
That's right, Rennie Rumble played earlier in a game for the Misfit Militia from Allison, Ontario. Now she's back here, back dressed in Toronto colors for CN Power. Ballerina on a scoring pass. She's got 2 to beat at the front of the pack, gets knocked to the outside, but eventually makes her way almost through.
1 more to beat. That's number 83, Ringo Death Star. Just enough time for Shotgun Shell to take the lead.
Number 31, Bruceberry Pie, you're seeing the pivot. Look at her open up that inside line for Ballerina. Unbelievable play from Bruceberry Pie. She was one of the phenomenal blockers for Toronto in the recent playoffs, and she is continuing that play tonight. Dinah Hirsch is back out there now with the pivot stripe, number 21, and that's number 2, Dusty, the co-captain of CN Power on the jam line for the home team in pink. No penalties yet. 5-on-5 roller derby in the early goings of this one. National Smasher getting forced in the back of the pack. Dusty not able to make much progress. Santa once again with some nice defense at the front of that pack. Just got to let her go. And number 77, Lucy Morals, is your lead jammer. 2 for 3 now for Grand Rapids to start this game.
Lucy Morals was also a star of the Fort Wayne playoffs for Division 1. Oh, and there is some question about that call-off, but Dusty does make it through.
Steal, no points for Dusty. 1 going up for Grand Rapids. Number 111, Santa Muerta, off to a hot start for the skaters in pink. Speaking of hot, Bambi on the jam line for CN Power. She has been unbelievable this season. I mean, I know she is a veteran here in Toronto Roller Derby, but she has just stepped it up to a whole new level, scored 258 points in the 4 playoff games for CN Power and recorded a 50% lead percentage. Unbelievable numbers. But no, she is a no pass, no penalty to the Grand Rapids jammer, so Bambi is your lead jammer. Ultra Fox, though, is in the lead, so Bambi calls it off and will reset. Now, Chrome, you've played against Bambi for many years when he was part of the house league.
Let's watch how she does that. Ultra Fox looks like she's snuck on the inside, and Bambi still trying to get through, but she does end up making it out.
She's so small. Now, what's she like to play against?
I liken her to a feather on a string. It is, once you hit her, she manages to just sweep around you. Like, it actually touching her and hitting her is the worst thing that you can do. And I think that Grand Rapids is going to learn that real quick. Really the way to isolate her is to just be in her way and slow her down.
Well, they are doing a really nice job of getting their jammers through. Number 44, Shotgun Shell, is your lead jammer, as Motorhead Molly, number 204 in the pink, is held up in the pack. She's got 1 to beat at the front, and she does get through, but she's got about a half a lap to make up. So Grand Rapids off to a really nice start. down by 5 with an opportunity to pull close. Nasher the Smasher with some nice defense to the outside, forces the call off.
Yeah, and that was a nice hit by number 88, Gardenho. Also a blocker to watch.
Yeah, Gardenho, another veteran. She does jam on occasion for Grand Rapids, but mostly you'll see her in the pack.
She's very similar to Dinah in that way. Dinah Hercher from CN Power. She's primarily a heavy-hitting blocker, but when you need a jammer who can take the blows and just keep moving, that's who you put out on the star.
And we saw that in the playoffs too, Dinah coming in at very key moments. Ballerina back on the line now. She picked up lead jammer and a handful of points the first time she was up, and she's out there once again against Lucy Morals. Lucy Morals, though, at the front of the pack, another lead jammer status for Grand Rapids.
Still a super tight game right now. Only 3 points separating these teams. And number 83 does have to let her go. That's Ringo Death Star trying to do that last-minute offense.
Looks like Rennie Rumble's going to be called on a cut, number 1205 being sent off. And not a lot of pack penalties right now, and the way these two teams are playing, you have to have a feeling that pack penalties are going to have an impact on this game.
Absolutely.
Very tight defense in the early going. Number 17 in the black out there for Grand Rapids, that's Ultra Fox, and number 2, Dusty. Dusty had a strong game and a loss in the playoffs against Atlanta just a few weeks ago. If you want to catch any of those games, go to WFTDA.tv, search for Toronto Roller Derby. All the games are archived. You can catch them all. Dusty now pushing to the outside, gets knocked out, forced to come in at the back of the pack. Ultra Fox pushing at the front. Dusty being held nicely. Lindsay Blohan with some nice defense. She is one of the captains of Grand Rapids. Nice! Nasher the Smasher with the last line of defense. Hit out on Ultra Fox, forces her all the way to the back of the pack.
Dusty still fighting at the front, and she does get through.
It looks like Ultra Fox was named lead jammer despite being pulled back, so she has the power to call it off, and she does just that.
And we're going to take a look at that hit Nasher threw on Ultra Fox. Looks like Dinah Hercher was trying. Nasher just finishes her off and cleanly skates back, looking for a hole to draw her back to.
Here's a stat, Chrome. Nasher the Smasher paid 80% of CN Power's jams during this year's playoffs. 4 games, 80% of the jams.
And I think that you can clearly see that's why they did so well. Nasher has just continued every season, season after season, to improve beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Mia Culprit, another blocker to watch. She's at the back with number 44 from Grand Raggidy. That shotgun shell being isolated at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Bambi having some trouble at the front.
But as you said, as soon as they tried to hit her, she was able to just sneak her way around. She's so good at staying close to that wall and avoiding those big sweeping hits. Slight size advantage for these Grand Rapids packs, but it's not really having an effect so far. Nice move by the Grand Raggidy jammer to get by Bluesberry Pie and Candy Crossbones at the front of that CN Power pack. Bambi coming in on her scoring pass, goes through, picks up points, calls it off.
Once again, showing that you just need to bounce off. And we're going to take a look at that again. There she is looking
Push,
1 on 4, push, push, push. And just when she's going to take a hit, you're going to see it. She's going to just pop right out.
Unbelievable.
And there she is, just breaking through despite her size.
Nice work from Bambi at the front of that pack. We've got 204 Motorhead Molly back on the line in the pink for CN Power. And Lucy Morals for Grand Rapids. Once again, we see CN Power running in the front of the pack. Jubilee with a nice knockout to Lucy Morals, forces her back. The lead jammer goes to Motorhead Molly. Motorhead Molly completing her first season not only in Toronto Roller Derby, but here for the All-Star team, CN Power.
But she's not new to roller derby.
No.
She definitely played as an all-star for Tri-City as well. Tri-City Thunder doing very well in Division 2.
That's right. They are also members of the WFTDA. A lower division, but still competitive roller derby in Kitchener, Ontario. Nice job, natural grand slams here for Motorhead Molly to build the biggest lead of the game, 15-5 now as we come up to the 10-minute mark. Are there going to be points added to that?
Yes, there are. 19 points for CN Power, 5 for Grand Rapids. 10 minutes gone in this bout.
19-5, 10 minutes in. Unbelievable. start for CN Power. As we mentioned, over the past 2 years, CN Power is 0-2 against this Grand Rapids team. Both of those games, though, were in Grand Rapids. And they play on a very, very unusual floor, to say the least. All right, Ballerina, though, is having an outstanding start to this game. Picks up another lead jammer status as Bruceberry Pie goes one-on-one against Ultra Fox at the back of that pack. Strong defense once again from CN Power. Candy Crossbones is the last line of defense. Oh, and Candy Crossbones draws the low block major power jam for CN Power.
It's definitely what made them famous at divisionals and what's going to make them famous tonight.
That jam ends. CN Power will have about 30-40 seconds to work with in this second of 2 jams with the power jam. Let's try to see if we can take a look at that penalty and where it was drawn.
There's Candy Crossbone. Oh, no.
Oh, it looks like it was on Bruceberry Pie. Her foot, an errant foot, causing Bruceberry Pie to trip. You must be in control of your strides. Looks like some confusion there on the track. Brief official review call, but it looks like things are cleared up. Dusty now on this power start for CN Power. Only 2 blockers on the track.
Looks like her team's going to make her fight for it on her own. Just going to try to chip away at this garden hoe, giving her some hard hits. They're keeping it tight, but they are out of play, and she does get called out. Dusty is through. Lead jammer.
Dusty now already around on her scoring pass, comes up to the back wall, hits it hot, and it looks like she is going to be called off now on a back block major. You cannot hit the numbers of the opposing player and use that to your advantage. So Dusty ends the power jam for CN Power. Nonetheless, they've increased their lead to 23-5 here in the first period.
That's going to spring Ultra Fox out of the box. Dusty's going to serve the same amount of time that Ultra Fox served on her own. She's through the pack just past Dinah Hercha, and I believe that was Mia Culper at the front. Nope, that's Nasher the Smasher.
Bruceberry Pie and Mia Culprit, though, back on the track. Penalties have expired. 4-3 pack advantage for CN Power. Ultra Fox doing some nice work to try and get around this wall, but again, you see Nasher and Bruceberry Pie, that last line of defense. Dinah Hercha locked in one-on-one. Tushy Tulips, number 33. Trashy Tulips trying to provide some offense for Grand Rapids.
Dinah coming back to the pack, smartly keeping her other players in play.
That's right, you're allowed to engage within 20 feet of the pack. So that's why CN Power has some time, and a nice knockout by Dinah Hercha. Oh, Dinah Hercha takes a big back block. No call made. Dusty, though, able to get through, gets around for the scoring pass.
Ultra Fox still stuck. Looks like even her own players are getting in her way. She's getting winded.
Phenomenal defense on that power kill from CN Power. Allowed Dusty to come out of the box and pick up points immediately, and she's on another scoring pass.
She lost her panty, it looks like. She's going to have to clean up the track.
Losing her helmet cover on that one. Dusty, there she is, the longtime member of CN Power and co-captain coming off the track.
And we're going to take another look at Dusty here. This is where she got that penalty, pushed that player from behind.
Let's see now. Dinah Hercha. Oh, and it looks like what they're going to do is give equal collision. Dinah was going the wrong way on the track, and the Grand Rapids blocker back-blocked her, and that's why neither blocker went to the penalty box. Trashy Tulips, veteran Grand Raggidy skater, in the box right now.
Looks like the refs are discussing things with the bench.
It's head referee Bonesy Adams explaining things to, that's a Lil Haha for Grand Rapids, and His Holiness, the Reverend Ramirez, bench coach of Toronto. 32-8 is your updated score. Shotgun Shell, number 44, out there in the black to face off against number 33, Bambi.
CN Power doing a great job of making a hole. She just has one to beat, and she does it. That was Bette Mangler holding her back for just a split second. But CN Power making short work of holding shotgun shell at the back of the pack.
Oh, and Pantyhose, I believe, doing some nice work on the inside, drawing a cutting major, and it's a second power jam of the game for CN Power. Nice work from number 99 and her line mates. Now have a 4-2 pack advantage on a power jam with their leading scorer out there to skate. Almost a perfect situation.
Yep. And Bambi takes advantage of it, makes just those small little movements to get through and around. Grand Rapids looking tentative, waiting for the storm that is Bambi. It's going to come through. Pantyhose are trying to make some room, sweeping across. But Bambi making short work on her own. Bette Mangler trying to take her out, but they are way out of the pack here and have to let her go.
Yeah, just seeing that trust from the CN Power bench, allowing Bambi to go up there and face that three-wall on her own, and every time she's able to just juke and jive and inside, outside, split them apart. Oh, and there's a nice sweep, though, from CN Power. Inside-out sweep allows Bambi to get through for 5 more points.
Yep. She does look tired, but definitely her team is making it a little bit easier for her. Bruceberry Pie looking like she's having a cuddle there in the front.
Oh, and Bette Mangler, number 00, with a nice little block out to Bambi on the inside, forcing her to the back of the pack. Grand Rapids Jammer is back on the track. Bambi, though, picks up 5 more, takes a look at her bench, and finally is going to call that one off.
You can almost see her pleading with her bench. Really? Come on. Haven't I scored enough here?
Where she is taking a breath as she comes up in a nice little outside, pulls Bette Mangler, and then shoots inside. And look at this hit from Bruceberry Pie.
Yep.
Perfectly timed offense in front of that pack. 57-8, the midway point of this first period. This WFTDA showdown.
That's Motorhead Molly with the star for CN Power in the pink. And number 77, Lucy Morals for Grand Rapids, stuck behind a pink wall. Both jammers having a tricky time, but Motorhead Molly does make it out with lead jammer status.
That was cost a lot of chaos with some nice defense for Grand Rapids in the pack. Grand Rapids didn't do quite as well as CN Power did at the playoffs. Oh, and you see a big collision between the two Grand Rapids skaters at the back of the pack. Oh, Motorhead Molly shaking off. Cost a little chaos' hit. She is through. Another 4 points.
It's a nice little assist with Jubilee, pushing her in. Just giving her that nice little push to give her some space. Jubilee at the front, giving one little tap, but it wasn't enough to hold back Grand Rapids. Bench is asking to just call that off, and Motorhead Molly complies.
Jubilee, another skater who is having a strong end to the 2013 season. She was also unbelievable in the playoffs, as most of CN Power was, but she actually finished with a plus-minus of 104 over the 4-game playoff. So unbelievable season for Jubilee.
And I believe I recall her playing at least half of the jams out there.
Yeah.
I think her percentage was somewhere around the 47 mark.
Yes, that's right. She was right up there. They were one of the few jammers to really get up there in terms of just under that 50% jam percentage. Grand Rapids had a rough time at the WFTDA playoffs. They got smoked by Wasatch out of Salt Lake City and the Rose City Rollers out of Portland, Oregon. They lost by about 250 points in both those games. They did manage to pick up a little bit of an upset over Bleeding Heartland from Bloomington, Indiana. And that allowed them to at least hold on to 52nd spot in the WFTDA. CN Power jumped from 39th in the playoffs to 32nd, where they still sit. So this is the largest gap in rankings between these two teams that we've seen.
And Bleeding Heartland seems to be the team that had them in common. There was a game in Bleeding Heartland's hometown. CN Power beat them very narrowly, and that was the game that put CN Power in playoff position.
That's right. And they've just been on a roll since.
They've been on a roll.
All right, we are back now with action on the track. Ballerine out there to jam for CN Power, but she does not get lead. A rare sight for Ballerine on this game. Instead, lead goes to Ultrafox. Ultra Fox trying to get into that pack and score some points and call it off before Bala catches up. Did Bala manage to steal one? Looks like...
She thinks she got two.
She did not.
Where did her ref? Nope, her ref says 0.
3-0 jam for Grand Rapids.
We're going to take another look at that. That's Ultra Fox approaching the pack. It's nice and spread out for her. She's going to scoop up the points. She's looking at her ref saying, come on, man.
And there's Bala asking for 2. Not to be. 65-11, 12 minutes to go in the first half. An official timeout being called.
Oh, and it looks like Bala's ref is holding up 3. So she did pick up 3 points in that jam.
Nice work by the referees to get it right. 7 referees officiating these WFTDA sanctioned bouts.
That is Dusty with the start for Pink. She's battling it out against Shotgun Shell, number 44 for Grand Rapids. 1 to beat, and she is out of the pack. She does have lead jammer status. Shotgun Shell being dragged back by Dinah Hercha. Oh, nice hit to the inside, distracting the rest of the pack, and Dusty is able to sweep through and pick up 5 points on a natural grand slam. Shotgun Shell not yet out of the pack.
Unbelievable pack defense from these 3 CN Power blockers who have really stepped up at the end of this season. Nash with the smasher, Dinah Hercha, Jubilee doing it all out there for their jammer. And now Dusty's going to play a little jammer on jammer action with Shotgun Shell.
It's like Jubilee did get a cut. So she is going to the penalty box. So CN Power is going to play this bout 1 short. Sorry, this jam 1 short.
4-3 pack advantage, as you just said, Chrome. Oh, 4-2 pack advantage, sorry. There was already 1 in the box. She is standing, that's Bruiseberry Pie. Number 31 is standing, as you can see.
She's got 10 more seconds or less left in her minute.
And Lucy Morals. Oh, sorry, Lucy Morals wearing the stripe this time as the pivot. Should point out, if you are new to women's flat track roller derby, the pivot is allowed to actually accept a pass of the star from the jammer, and she can become the jammer. Which is why you see skaters like Lucy Morals often wearing the stripe as a backup jammer.
It's a nice little strategy, but also keep in mind they cannot become lead jammer. So
That's right.
It is definitely something when you're stuck at the back and you have nowhere else to go and you know that other jammer's coming around, it's a good time to pass.
That's right. And this will be the first jam of the game for Extreme Tack. She is again another backup jammer for Grand Rapids. She usually gets in for a couple jams a game, but primarily plays in the pack. And there's a look at number 33, Bambi.
Smart jammer choice when you've got a box full of blockers, you know, and especially if you've got Nasher out there helping you.
Yep.
You want to put
Nasher,
your best people out there.
Number 2x4 there with Candy Crossbones, the lone 2 blockers on the back for CN Power. Candy Crossbones, number 2020, is actually a converted jammer to blocker. And again, they still use her on occasion when they need a more of a physical approach to the jammer line, but she's just, years and years as a blocker, she's got that instinct for the offense. Really quick transitions into helping out her jammers. Some CN Power fans here at the bunker cheering on their team. There's a lot of pink in the bunker tonight. This is the final game not only for CN Power of the season, but it's the final game for Toronto Roller Derby of the 2013 season. An incredibly successful year for this league. And this team, CN Power at the top of it all, currently ranked 2nd in all of Canada. And we're off. Bambi being held by the 4-wall at the back of the pack. Candy Crossbones at 2x4 Nash with the Smasher alone up front. And nice offense coming from Trashy Tulips for Grand Rapids, but Nash with the Smasher will not be beat. Bambi knocked to the inside, dragged all the way back. A stretched pack. Look at that, as far as you can stretch that track. The lead jammer, though, goes to Extreme Tack. Bambi being held for the first time and having a really hard time. She's heading to the penalty box. Low block, major.
Back.
So a tripping call, looks like. We didn't see it ourselves, but over around turn 3. First power jam of the game now for Grand Rapids.
It was low tack that did a back block on Nasher. So Bambi is immediately released, which means that we're going to have both jammers out on the track very soon. But Grand Rapids making it really hard for Bambi to enter in. They're dragging back as far as they possibly can. And we've got both jammers on the track once again.
Yeah, this is the hardest Bambi has had getting through this pack all night. So nice adjustments being made by Grand Rapids as they try and get back in this game. Nice move on the outside by Extreme Tack. Coming up against Nasher the Smasher once again, though. And Bambi finally able to shake off a few of those blockers, but nice resetting. Bruceberry Pie trying to provide some offense.
Not a whole lot of movement in jammer progression here.
No need. Both packs just working extraordinarily well. Finally, Bambi, it looks like, is going to push the blockers out of play, and as you can see in the foreground, she is through. 10 minutes to go in the first period. Bambi looking winded after a grueling 55 seconds.
Extreme Tack being stuck behind with Bruceberry Pie. Oh.
There's a no pass, no penalty, I believe.
Yeah. Just looking for that call.
Full 2-minute jam without a lead. Let's take a look at some of that punishing pack work.
There's Bambi trying to make her way through. She tries to take it on the inside. Number 33 drags her back. 83 does the help.
Nice work trashing Tulips. The Vet knocking her out, and Ringo Death Star dragging her back. And look at that, just recycling constantly.
Bambi does have to enter behind, and that's where she got that track back. Meanwhile, Motorhead Molly jamming for CN Power, skits and jumps through the inside line, and it looks like Grand Rapids does the same. Looks like Motorhead Molly's got a half a track ahead of her. She's going to try to scoop up some points before that jammer comes through. She has to call it off, and it looks like only 1 point scored for CN Power, but every little bit counts, just chipping away at that lead.
There you're taking a look at the Grand Rapids bench very briefly. Back on the track, 4-3 pack advantage for Grand Rapids. Ballerina out there to jam against Lucy Morals for Grand Rapids. Pantyhoser, Bruceberry Pie, and Rennie Rumble on the track for your skaters in pink. Your hometown Toronto Roller Derby up by 62 points right now. Lucy Morals, a nice move to get around and to the front, and now trying to push that three-wall of CN Power blockers while Ballerina is facing a imposing four-wall at the back. Bat Mangler doing a nice job. And while all that's happening, Lucy Morals, number 77, is through, and she is your lead jammer.
Pantyhoser cycled back. She's getting hit to the front, and Grand Rapids has to let her go. We've got one in the box for them.
Bala is through, which means Lucy Morals will have to call it off after picking up 4 points.
CN Power are quick to recycle back to that line. They want to start this jam right away, keep that momentum going, and keep their lead ahead.
Nasher the Smasher is standing. She's got less than 10 seconds left. Costa, a lot of chaos is in the box for Grand Rapids. 3-3 pack to start this jam. Extreme Tack now has joined the Grand Rapids rotation. She's out there against number 2, Dusty, in the pink. There are your two jammers. Both jammers go to the outside. Dusty now switches in. And Jubilee, Nasher the Dinah Hercha, and Santa Muerta with some phenomenal defense at the back of the pack, allowing Dusty to get through. She's your lead jammer for CN Power.
Garden Hoe and Freakin' C were right there at the front trying to hold her back. Did shave a few seconds off of her momentum, but not on the second pass around. Dusty hits it and quits it.
Dusty with a nice little juke there to get those points and ensure a pickup of 4. Let's take a look and watch Dusty on a replay in that jam. Nice movement outside in, and then just splitting those blockers. Finally able to use her speed to beat them on the outside, take lead jammer for CN Power. There's actually a fairly big crowd here for Grand Rapids, considering how far they've come. There's a nice little section of fans cheering them on. And Motorhead Molly jamming for CN Power. She was dragged back, able to get back on the track, and it's Ultra Fox jamming for CN Power. She's having a hard time as well. Finally getting through, and lead jammer is Motorhead Molly.
Ultra Fox shaking that one off. I think she had CN Power hit one of her own players into her, so got a little knock to the chin. CN Power picking up more points. They now sit with 90 points against Grand Rapids 24, and just over 5 minutes left in this half.
You know, Ultra Fox had an amazing playoffs. Considering the massive losses that Grand Rapids faced, she still managed to register a 61% lead percentage and score 114 points.
Amazing.
So she is key, obviously, to this Grand Rapids offense.
Certainly why you're seeing her out on the track quite often. They're going to try to use her as much as possible to make up this lead. But Ballerina just tiptoeing on that outside line. Grand Rapids trying to stop her. Completely unsuccessful. She'd already built her momentum, and she is lead jammer before Lucy can even move from the back of the pack.
Santa Muerta continues the nice defense tonight, and Jubilee also with a nice offense, helping her jammers get through. She was key on that start for Bala, and Bala now coming around and scoring pass, decides to call it off. Will pick up at least 3. 3 points on the board for CN Power. Under 5 to go, 93-24.
And take another look at Bala coming around Santa Muerta, sneaking around. She gets hit by Garden Hoe, gives herself a little bit of momentum, and just squeaks on by and around.
Oh, nice little head fake. Couldn't quite get that last point, but a big pickup nonetheless. CN Power is leading by quite a bit. 4 minutes to go.
Dusty looking for a little bit of an assist from Bruceberry Pie on that outside, and she gets it. But it looks like Grand Rapids saw the score, gave her a little bit of resistance and enough to slow her down, but not enough to avoid lead jammer status for Dusty.
Dust Bunny now is coming up on her scoring pass.
Being aggressive herself, taking those points for her own team. Meanwhile, Extreme Tack is finally out of the pack.
And Dusty calls it off. Dusty's so experienced, so solid, very good at staying away from those dangerous areas. Growing into somewhat of a conservative jammer as the level of play steps up that the CN Power faces. And she's become very reliable. Stays out of the penalty box. Chips away at those points. Speaking of points, the 2 leading scorers for the 2 teams out there on the track now, Bambi and Ultra Fox. There they are, 33 in pink and number 17 in black. 4-3 pack advantage for CN Power as Bambi able to get once again to the front. And she is trying to push that wall. Santa Muerta again continuing this phenomenal defense. Joined by Dinah Hirsch at the back of that pack. Lead jammer now goes to Bambi once again. CN Power in last year's showdown, almost a year to the day against Grand Rapids, never led in the game. And
yeah,
now,
it was definitely a very different game.
Now 72 points and a very similar lineup. Just goes to show you how far this Toronto team has come in a very short period of time. Bambi with one to beat, can't quite get past Freakin' C. It's a nice defense, but she calls it off. She'd already picked up Freakin' C's point. So it was all for naught. Bambi 4 more points on the board. They've reached the century mark. 100-24. Motorhead Molly back on the line for CN Power in pink. 1:30 left. We're in that 2-minute danger zone. This could be the last jam of the half. And Lucy Morals in black for Grand Rapids. Bruceberry Pie once again tries to open up the outside. It didn't stay open for long, so starting again at the back of the pack is Motorhead Molly, but quickly makes her way to the inside, trying to push those 2 blockers out of the way, but sneaking through on the inside. Lucy Morals picks up the lead jammer for Grand Raggidy.
Garden Hoe making it really difficult for Motorhead Molly here. Bruceberry Pie also trying to make a hole for her.
She does get through. Motorhead Molly quickly coming up on the pack, forcing the call off. I think it's going to be 3 points for Grand Rapids. 3 and a steal of 1. Nice job by Motorhead Molly with a burst of speed at the end to just pass that Grand Raggidy blocker and pick up the point.
That tall drink of water in pink is Rebel Rocket. She's just come off of a concussion injury, so it's exciting to see her back on the track, playing for the pink.
Another longtime veteran, missed the playoffs this year.
This'll do. Nice way to start 2014.
That's right. Ballerina now working her way through that pack as at the back, Extreme Tack having a hard time. Dinah Hercher, the pivot, going one-on-one. Masher there for support.
CN Power just holding this four-wall and letting Ballard fight for her own.
Seems to be the way CN Power is going tonight, and why not if they can do it? Their jammers are getting through. The tight defense is holding the opposing jammer in. Oh, Rebel Rocket takes a big hit.
Oh, Ballerina spins and turns, falls on her knees, gets back up, and she keeps going like nothing ever happened.
We've got a star pass in the pack. Shotgun shell number 44 was wearing the pivot as the backup jammer. She took the star, burst through the pack. Nice strategic move from Grand Raggidy to at least limit the damage. Ballard's going to try to pick up 4 more before she calls it off, though. Evades 1 hit. And blows by number 25, Freakin' C, for the final point. All 4 for CN Power on that pass. And that's going to take us up to halftime. Just waiting for the official call, and there it is. Unbelievable opening half for CN Power.
More points on the board. CN Power finishes this half with 110 points against Grand Rapids with 28.
And I think the story of that half so far was just powerful defense from CN Power and their jammers being left alone, but winning those battles, 1-on-3 battles, consistently at the front of the pack. Really great work.
Absolutely, and both sets of jammers staying really clean, and when they do get those penalties, they get them together. So there isn't a whole lot of time where the jammers are actually sitting in the penalty box. So it makes for some exciting derby.
It does, and more exciting derby coming up in the second half of this Toronto Roller Derby showdown between the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls and your own CN Power.